This is Ashira Nelson from SavvyGirlMoney.com. Thanks everybody who joined so far. Started today and discuss ways that you can increase your credit score. I decided to do this class or webinar because 2 years ago when I decided that, well, my husband and I decided we wanted to buy a house, I actually had a credit score of 660. I had just made the cut of, decided to buy a house 2 years ago. I had just made the cut of qualifying for a FHA loan. And luckily I got the FHA loan, but I knew once I got the house, I had to get my credit up. That was just 2 years ago. So I went from a 660 2 years ago to over 800 credit score now. And so the things that I'm going to discuss today is actual things that I use to increase my credit score. It didn't even take me a whole 2 years. Now, once I'm in this 2 year mark, I'm just keeping my credit score up at the 800 mark. But before, when I had the 660, it took me probably about 8 months to get my credit score up to 800 by using the steps that I'm going to discuss today. And now that I'm at 800, I find that I have to continue to work at it to keep it there. So just know that it does not happen overnight, but your credit score is not at the point where it cannot be repaired. You can do this if you just follow simple strategies and get it done. So I want to talk about what makes up a credit report, because you find out what your credit score is on an actual report. So the credit report contains 5 categories. Hey Ari, it contains your personal information, accounts that report monthly. It contains accounts that are in default, and public records and inquiries. So the kind of public information you will find on there is like your name, social, address, things like that. Okay, my dog is like going crazy because he can see me doing this and he's like, why are you not letting me inside? But calm down, Diego. Okay, so everybody has to understand that it's very important to constantly read your credit score in order to get better with understanding it. So when we're done with this, please go to annualcreditreports.com and download your credit report. Review the information that's on your report. Check out your personal information. Check out the accounts that are reporting monthly. Look at the accounts that are in default, and look at the public information that's currently out there on you. You want to make sure you're looking at these things so that in case you find any errors, you can get that corrected. Especially for people who have common names. Like if you have a name like Devin Smith or Michael, you want to make sure you review that personal information that's on your credit report to make sure that everything that's listed on your credit report is actually you. I also talk about the factors that FICO considers when coming up with your credit score. 35% is your payment history. 30% is the amount you owe on credit. 15% is your credit history. 10% is the new credit. So new credit you actually go apply for at the store, no matter if it's a department store or if you get a new Amex New inquiries make up 10%. And you want to make sure you limit the new things because it's all about your credit history. You want to maintain a history on your credit report. So it's all about the history, not the new inquiries. 10% is the type of credit. So you want to make sure that your credit score have a healthy mix. And what I mean by healthy mix is, hello guys who just joined. Healthy mix is having like a credit card, having a mortgage outstanding, having a car note. You want to have a mix up of different things. You don't want to just have like 2 cars in your name or a house, just the mortgage, or you don't want to just have all credit cards. You want to have a mix up of different things. Hey Brandon, that makes up your whole basket of different things. So one question I got was, does a lease count? Unfortunately, most of the time, a lease does not count because most leasing companies does not report that information to credit bureaus. I'm glad you love it, Ashley. You can actually talk to your leasing company and see if they are willing to, leasing company mean your apartments, see if they're actually willing to report to your credit agency. It actually might cost you, but it might be worth it. Why not pay a one-time fee that allows them to report? If you're constantly paying your rent on time, and this information, this positive history can really help your credit score. So talk to your apartments and see what they're willing to do. Honestly, they probably just never had anyone ask them if they would report to their credit, but they might actually be willing to. So I'm glad you pay your rent on time. I know, that's so good. Continue to pay your rent on time and just talk to them. You'll be surprised. You might get somebody on a good day who's actually willing to help you out, who want to see you increase your credit score, who knows you have a good history. So talk to them. Don't even wait. Talk to them tomorrow. Call them on the phone and just say, are you willing to report my good monthly history to the credit bureaus? Maybe they're only willing to report to 1. Hey, 1 is better than none. So definitely consider that. And I'm telling you guys, do that tomorrow. So that's all the factors that make up your FICO score. So it's your payment history, the amount you owe on credits, accounts, the credit history, new accounts that you open, and the type of credit. Let me see, I got another question. How often should you check your score? I would say it has to be more than once per year. We are not at the day and age where we can only check it once a year. I say you should check it at least at minimum twice a year. That's the minimum. Honestly, guys, my husband is working on his credit, so I am recommending to him to honestly check it like every 3 months, so once a quarter. So that would be about 4 times a year. And why this is so important is because if you're repairing your credit, you need to see immediately if something comes on there that's wrong. You got to be ready to tackle it aggressively, and you won't know if something pop up on your credit in March and you don't check your report until December, then you have wasted so many times where you can be fighting for yourself and fighting for your credit score. So I recommend that you definitely check it at minimum twice. Jenny, they definitely have apps that help you review your credit score conveniently. Make sure you go download that tonight. Go to your app market or your Android store. It's Credit Karma. And the good thing about Credit Karma, you can view it online or through an app. So if you're not an app person, you really don't trust it, because I know some people don't. Like my friend Rena, she don't like to put her information into apps. That's okay. You definitely have a online option where you can review your information and still get the great experience of it like an app. Hi, thanks for joining, Tiffany. So let's go ahead and get into those good old actionable steps that help me increase my credit score from a 660 to a 800. So the first thing I did was, sorry, Rena, I did just put you out there, but hey, you don't like it. You hate putting your information into apps and stuff like that. And it might actually be someone just like you. So I wanted to make sure I put that out there, that they definitely have an online option. Yes, that's true. They do email you when your credit report goes up and down. So if something is affecting your credit in a bad way, you're able to tackle it right away. We'll go ahead and get into the actionable steps that I took to increase my credit score. So the first thing I did was actually make it a point to start reviewing my credit score every quarter. It was just like I had to do that for myself. I had to become aware of what was actually on it. If I didn't know what was on it, why would I want someone else pulling up my credit score and telling me things about my report that I didn't know? If you are thinking about getting a car soon, a new car soon, or a house, you have to make this a point to review your credit report like tonight. And you can do that. The Credit Karma and the annualcreditreport.com will allow you to take advantage of these options and review your credit score tonight. So the first step that I took was I corrected all the errors that was on my report. I actually noticed that even though Ashira is not a common name, they had someone else middle name on my account, which was weird. So make sure they have your correct first, middle, initial, or if they have your whole middle name, make sure it's correct. Make sure they got your right last name. Like I said, especially if you have a common name. You don't want to be like Tiffany Williams and they have like Tiffany A. Williams and that's not you. So make sure your information is actually correct on your report. One of the questions was, so after I paid off something on my report, the best way to having something on your report removed is to the person that, or the lender that you paid, make sure that they send you out a letter confirming that you paid it off. And then I would actually call the credit agencies and let them know, like, I paid that off. Or you could get on the Credit Karma app and dispute it. Through the Credit Karma app, you'll see it once you get on. The app actually allows you to dispute things, and your actual dispute can be is that I actually paid that debt off in full. If you paid it off in full, through the Credit Karma app, let them know that you paid it off, and then if they need support, you actually have the paid off notice from the lender that you can send to Credit Karma. I hope that helps, Tiffany. So as soon as you pay it off, demand that these lenders send it to you. No matter what, have them send you a letter showing a zero balance no matter what. Even if it's as small as $20, have them send it to you. As soon as you get them your credit card information, say, okay, you got my information. I need my confirmation number. Please email me out a letter showing a zero balance tomorrow, next day. Okay, I'm glad I was able to help you with that one. Okay, number 2. So first, correct all errors. Number 2 is to dispute all negative items that's on your credit. Question. When I was applying for a home loan, I did pay off accounts that was in collection. I hear some conflicting things about that, but personally, how I got my credit score up, I definitely paid off my accounts in collection first. At the time, 2 years ago, I did not even know that some medical bills can go into collection. And I'm sorry, guys, I missed a couple of y'all questions. Y'all gonna have to swing on back around if I didn't see it. But so do I offer this service? Rena, I do offer this service to assist people with repairing their credit. First thing I honestly did was pay things that were in collection. I felt like, Rena, what you actually want to do is, Rena, go with the plug. Okay, so in order to book this service for me to help you, you want to actually go to savvygirlmoney.com, and it's an option for a free consultation. You will book a free consultation, and then during our free consultation, we would discuss your problems and issues and how your goal with your credit report. And from there, we would go into the paid service, depending on how much you actually need me to help you out. So yes, I do offer assistance with correcting your credit score. All of you guys can go and do the free consultation. The consultation is 30 minutes. And from there, we will book a paid service. But the free consultation is really great. We will walk through all of your needs with your credit report. I'll give you immediate tips and things you can do. And then from there, we'll go into the disputing, writing letters to the lenders and everything like that. So definitely go to savvygirlmoney.com and book your free consultation. From there, then we can go into the nitty-gritties of repairing your credit score more one-on-one. Hey, Leah, thanks for joining. Okay, Matt, you know I'm always here to help you. Okay, so back to those actionable steps. So first, we want to correct all the errors. Make sure all of your personal information is correct. Second, you want to dispute any negative items. I don't care if you actually owe them. You want to dispute everything. Dispute, dispute, dispute. And not saying that you're going to win the dispute. You just need to actually dispute them, to give yourself time to make a plan to pay off this. And through savvygirlmoney.com, I do have this service that you can book where we set up a savings plan and a debt repayment plan. The debt repayment plan is actually, how do I dispute student loans? Unfortunately, you can't really dispute student loans. I'm sorry. But you can get to a point where you are paying a monthly price that you are comfortable with. That's true. You can't dispute them all at the same time. I know I'm chalked to pretty much 90% of my debt is student loans. But don't let those student loans intimidate you. You can get to a point where you're just at a healthy payment, a payment that you're comfortable with, where student loans is at that point not even a problem. Like, I just pay my student loans, I pay my monthly amount and go about my business. It's just not even an issue anymore. No, I don't enjoy paying them, but just get to a point where you setting them up on auto pay and they're just not your concern anymore. Okay, another step that I recommend you guys to take, and I discussed it in my budgeting class if you attended that back in January. You guys want to become an authorized user on a relative or a friend that's close to you credit card. And you want to make sure this is somebody who has a good reporting history and honestly who has a credit score or of 750 and better. And let me repeat that, what I mean by that. So you want to become an authorized user on a close relative or friend's credit card with a good reporting history. And you want to let them know what you're trying to do. Let them know that I'm planning on increasing my credit, and I want to know if you can assist me with that. No, it don't require them to do anything or do anything shady. This is actually a legit strategy to increase your credit. So you say you want to increase your credit, and they order you a card and you don't get the card. They keep the card. My dog has joined me. You want to say hi, Diego? He's hiding. But yes, let them know. Yes, Aaron, this is definitely something that you could do. Honestly, other people have been doing this for years. And I do this with my family. My dad can tell you today how this strategy has helped them. I got my credit score up, and then I immediately started to help my family by making them authorized users on my credit cards. And what you want to do with this, you want to become, he's okay. You become an authorized user. Just let the person know what your strategy is. Don't try to come at them shady. Let them know upfront. That's why it's really important to do this with a close relative or a close friend. Somebody that understands that you have some goals of possibly getting a car soon or a house, and you really is on the grind in the next couple months to increase your credit score. Okay, step number 5 is to open up a secure credit card. I tell people about this strategy all the time too. If you have really bad credit, you need to be at a credit union. I feel like a credit union is the best place to get a secure credit card. Of course, there's other ones out there, and I can send you guys out a link on my Facebook page of some good secure credit options that you can look into. I'll do that right after this. But I know a credit union have really great options for secure credit cards. You want to get one of those. And why you want to get one of those is because you make a deposit into your checking account, and the checking account that's secure. So if you deposit $500 into your secured account, you get a credit card, and then you can only spend $500 on the credit card, the $500 that you actually deposited. I did this with my wife, and it worked out well. See, I told you I did it with my husband. I did it with my parents. It really, really works to add yourself as a authorized user on someone's card. Honestly, just to get a little personal, I put my parent on my dad on my card as a authorized user, and within like 2 months, he was able to get a credit card. Let's see, Brittany and I were just talking about this 2 hours ago. Yes, it works. Becoming an authorized user, it really works. You just have to find someone who trusts you and want to help you accomplish your goals. And you want to make sure this someone also with a good history, because if they start paying their bills, that negative history will attach to your credit score. How should we follow these steps in order? You don't have to follow these steps in order. I will say the first one, correcting the errors, that have to be number 1. But if you want to correct your errors and ask someone to become an authorized user at the same time, that's okay, Shani. But you do want to make sure you correct errors. Make sure your name, address, everything is up to date on your credit report. How do I feel about the Navy Federal? Personally, I have not, I have no experience with Navy Federal, but I don't think the Navy Federal is a bad option. if you have the option to set up an account with them, go for it. Definitely. I definitely can go back over the steps at the end. No problem. Miss Taylor. Hi, Sands. Thanks for joining me. I think 2 of my Sands is on right now. And I can also list these steps, the actionable steps, on my Savvy Girl Money Facebook page. And I'm going to put the steps on my Savvy Girl Money Facebook page, and I'll also list the link to the secured companies the companies that provide a secured credit card. I'm going to also put that on my Savvy Girl Money Facebook page too, so you can access that link. So let's keep going. So you want to open up a secure credit card. And another thing you want to do is, once you have a credit card, make sure that you're only utilizing 30% of each credit card. And what I mean by that is, if you have a credit card, hopefully it's not only $100, but if your credit card is only $100, you can only, with the strategy of trying to increase your credit score, you can only use up to $30 of that credit card. So if you have a $500 credit card, you can only use up to $150. $1,000, you can only use up to $300. You want to make sure you only using 30% of the total outstanding balance. So if you have $1,000, you can only use $300. And while you're trying to get your score up, definitely try to pay off each balance every month. Am I the only frozen one? I'm sorry, I hope you're not frozen too long. The good thing about this, it will be replayed on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to still access that. So how you can figure out your usage is, when you get your statement, you want to add up all of your expense and make sure, like, add up your current charges. So if you charge $300 on your Old Navy card and your total outstanding debt or your total credit card balance is $1,000, you're good. But you want to make sure you just keep that under 30%. That's very important. I'm going to just go through these actionable steps really quick one more time, and I will still list them later. So number 1, you want to correct errors on your report. Number 2, you want to dispute any negative items. Number 3, you want to become a authorized user on someone that's trustworthy with a good credit history. You want to become an authorized user on one of their credit cards. Number 4, go to a credit union or check out the link that I provide to open up a secure credit card. Number 5, you only want to utilize up to 30% of a single credit card. Okay, so I talked about my actionable steps, and now I want to leave you with some other additional information. So like I said, make sure you are going to annualcreditreport.com and accessing your report for free annually. They only give you one though, but they pull from all 3 agencies. They will give you it free every year, but only if you request it. So if you don't request it, you don't get it. They don't just send this information out to you. If you have this was helpful. Thanks. Thanks for joining, Aaron. I really appreciate it. So another thing you want to do, if you have a credit agency looking into or investigating a dispute on your account and it's not satisfied the way that you want it. So if you owe, I don't know, Sprint $500 and Credit Karma per se looks into it and they say, based on the evidence, you truly do owe Sprint that money. You can also add a explanatory statement onto that line. So on your Sprint dispute, you can tell them that you want to actually add an explanation onto that. And a good explanation is that I actually plan to pay this off within the next 12 months, or I plan to pay this off in the next 24 months. So no matter what, if you cannot get a negative inquiry solved, make sure you add an explanation onto that transaction. Like I said, make sure you're checking your report frequently. Try to get to the point where you're checking it 4 times a year, which is once per quarter. If you're planning to make a huge purchase, which is buying a house, a car, starting a business, you need a business loan, or even taking out a personal loan, you want to make sure that you're reviewing your credit report in advance. And a good rule to follow is, honestly, you want to start looking into this at least like 3 to 5 months before you're actually going to make the purchase. I made that mistake when I bought a house. I did not look into my credit report enough in advance. I was at the point where they were telling me what was on my credit report. I should have already knew that information. So that's why you want to be on top of it way before you go out and make a huge purchase. And not to knock anybody hustle, but I do want to let you guys know, there's a lot of credit repair companies out there, and like different clinics, and even myself, I offer credit repair services now. I want you to know, and I'm telling you this honestly, I am not doing nothing that you cannot do for yourself. Of course, I want you to set up a consultation with me and let me help you repair your credit. Of course I do. I'm going to give you the time and attention that you need to get this done. I'm going to help you write your letters to the different agencies. I'm going to provide you examples. But I have to let you know, this is something that you can 100% do for yourself. So yes, you can go on Google, find some great letters to send out to the different agencies. I have to say that because I'm an honest person, and no matter what, I want you to know I'm doing something that you can most definitely do for yourself. If you want to do it for yourself, but you want my assistance along the way, I'm even willing to do that. I never knock anybody. I never knock anybody or stop anybody from asking me any questions. Lord knows I answer questions all day in my inbox. I never hesitate, no matter what it is. I always provide information. So if you just have a question that you want to ask me, go for it. Send me a message. What's the highest credit score I had? I actually got up to a 825 at one point. I did. I got up to an 825, but I have to be honest. It was kind of hard at maintaining that 825, and I felt like it was too much pressure, and I felt like I was kind of going crazy. I became so fixated with it, like I was on the credit report app nonstop, or the Credit Karma app nonstop, like once a week, trying to make sure I didn't do anything to mess up my credit. And I felt like that wasn't healthy for me. So I'm just comfortable with staying between a 800 and like an 815 right now. That's my happy place. As long as I'm over 800, I don't want to add any additional stress into my life, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely always keep it real. With my help, you can definitely do this for yourself. If you want, sometimes I had to learn over the years. Some things I'm just better off hiring other people for. I really am. I realize what I'm good at, and I realize what I'm not good at. So the things that I'm good at, I just focus on those. Everybody might not be good at putting up a good fight or negotiating their credit score. Hire somebody else that is. You hire me, I'm going to put up one hell of a fight for you because I'm really good at that. Honestly, your credit is never too bad where it cannot be repaired. Know that. Everything is fixable. You can definitely make this happen. You just got to give it time. Think about all the things that you have ever gave time and attention to. The things that you give time and attention to, they result in a successful outcome. The things that you don't put a lot of time and attention to, it just like it goes on nonchalantly because you didn't give it the time and the love that it needed. So just take the time to get your credit score up. So don't forget to visit SavvyGirlMoney.com. You can book a free consultation with me. It's 30 minutes. And then from there, we can go on to a extensive session where we really work one-on-one, no matter if it's from phone or Skype, but I will help you one-on-one repair your credit. Kelly. Okay, so if you don't use your credit card anymore, do not close it. Don't close it. Never close a credit card. You want to keep that positive history going. Your credit report is all about the history. And 30% of your score makes up your credit history. So you want to make sure that you are keeping those credit cards open no matter what. And I suggest you cut it up if you need to. Cut up that credit card so that you don't use it. God knows how many times I had to do that. I used to use that strategy in college all the time. Excuse me. I had this Gap card where I could use it anywhere. It was a Visa, and I was a broke college student, so I really needed that card. But I would go over the amount that the 30%. I would go over it sometimes because honestly, I had to live, and it happens. But once I got too bad, I had no problem with cutting up that credit card. And you just have to. And once you get that credit card down or the balance down, just call the company up and say, I'm sorry, I lost my card. Can I order another one? And they will have no problem sending you out a new credit card because they want you to keep charging. So if it gets too bad, your balance gets too high, cut it up. Or bring it to me. I'll cut it up for you. Thanks, Mike. You cut yours up today? That's so funny. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Cut that damn card up. Don't feel bad. I'm telling you, they're gonna send you out a newer, shinier card in a couple months when you have your credit together and when you have that balance down. Don't feel ashamed to cut it up. I want to use all this knowledge to help others. I am nothing without sharing the knowledge I have. If I don't, I gain this knowledge for a reason. So I need to make sure I'm just sharing it. And I'm going to continue to do webinars, and make sure you watch my YouTube videos. You can find my YouTube videos actually on my SavvyGirlMoney.com website now. And I also post the links to my videos. But make sure you check out my YouTube videos of different topics. I'm going to try to do these webinars on different topics. So if you have a topic you want me to do maybe next month, definitely let me know. Hey, Keon, thanks for joining. Hey, guys, so I will see you guys on my, thanks, Savvy. Thanks, James. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on my personal Facebook page or my Savvy Girl Money page, and I also am on Instagram. So anytime you have a question, just send me a message. I'm always here. So thanks, guys. Have a great night, and make sure you check out SavvyGirlMoney.com.